So let's take a look at photo upload in our API. And as mentioned, we're going to be using a service called Cloudinary to do this. So what you'll need to do is go to cloudinary.com, create a new account, and there's a very generous free plan for this. So you don't need to put in any credit card details or anything like that. But you will need a valid email address, and before you can really use this, what you'll also need to do is verify your email address. If you forget to do that, then you're going to have a problem uploading photos via the API. So please make sure you do that. And there's 3 pieces of information we need: the cloud name, the API key, and the API secret. And we need to give these to our API so that our API has the ability to upload photos from the API to Cloudinary. So what we'll do is we'll set up the pieces we need for this. And the first thing we'll do is we'll store these particular details in our user secrets so that we've got access to them via our configuration. So let's head back to VS Code, and I'll just open up the terminal window, and I'll just open up a new session, and we'll just cd into the API to save us from specifying the project every time we use .NET user secrets. So what we'll do is we'll say .NET user-secrets and set, and the first one we want to add is Cloudinary and cloud name. And inside here I'm just going to copy the cloud name into the clipboard and paste it into here and press return. And when we use a colon in this way, what we'll be able to do is access the entire section of our configuration just using Cloudinary. And we'll add another key, and this one's going to be for Cloudinary and API key. And once again I'll head across and I'll just copy the API key into my clipboard, and I'll remove and I'll replace what's in here with the API key. And the last one we need is the API secrets. And once again I'll just copy the API secrets to the clipboard, and once again I'll just overwrite what's in here with the API secrets and press return. So what you should have now, if I just do a .NET user-secrets and list, is your Cloudinary settings, your cloud name, your API secrets, and your API key. And make sure the API secret is the longest one of these, because if you mix these up, it's obviously not going to work. And then what we need to do is, we'll go into our infrastructure project and we'll create a new folder and we'll call it Photos. And what we'll create a new C# class and I'll call this Cloudinary Settings. And what we'll add in here is our 3 properties. We'll add the string for the cloud name. We'll add the string for the API key. And we'll also add a string for the API secrets. And these need to match exactly with what we've called these in our .NET user secrets. Because by adding our Cloudinary settings in this way, we can strongly type what we're adding into our user secrets. And then what we need to do is go to our startup class and scroll on down to, I'll just add it where we're adding our other services. And what we need to do here, so that we can add our configuration, we'll say services.configure, and then we pass in our Cloudinary settings as the type. And I'll just bring in infrastructure photos. And then what we do is pass it our configuration. So we'll use the configuration, and remember we're injecting this into our startup class from our iConfiguration, which means we have access to the .NET user secrets, as well as the app settings.json files, etc. And what we'll do, we'll scroll on down, back down again, and I'll say configuration.get section, and we can specify Cloudinary as the section of configuration that we're using here. And then our Cloudinary settings will be strongly typed to the values that are contained in the Cloudinary section inside our .NET user secrets, or wherever they're stored in whatever configuration. And the last thing we'll do before we finish this particular lesson is we'll actually install the Cloudinary.net package into our project, and specifically the infrastructure project. And what we'll use for this, I'll just head back over to the Cloudinary page, and if I take a look down, we can see underneath the quick links, we have various framework integration SDKs, and what we want to use is the .NET SDK so that we can add this to our project. So I'll just head over to this, and what we want to do is just take a look at the installation for this. And they have a NuGet package available, and this will give us access to Cloudinary.net and Cloudinary.net actions. And the actions contains methods to upload and destroy and do various things with images. So this all refers to NuGet Package Manager, so let's go ahead and use that inside our project. And I'll just use the NuGet Package Manager and add package. And we want to look for Cloudinary.net and press return. And it should find it in the list. And what we want to do is make this available for our infrastructure project. So I'll just select the latest version at the time of recording, which is 1.8. And then I'll select the infrastructure project of where we want to add this dependency. And this should go ahead and install it, and then we can click on restore. And this should work successfully. Now what we're going to do is separate the ability to upload and delete photos to and from Cloudinary from our application logic. So we're going to use this in our infrastructure project. And just like our JWT generator, our user accessor, we're going to need to create an interface and a class to do this. And we'll take a look at that next.